Hello.
Hello.
Hello!
What the hell are you here, Guitar Rabbit?
It's my iPod.
We are back. It's Sunday, of course, we're here. And for those that know the panel, you will see an unfamiliar face. We are joined by a special late guest tonight who's very nicely stood in, Mr. Acapella, aka AMC Mods.
Hello.
Good evening, Acapella.
Thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Evening, everyone in chat. Chris, Tracy, Nick, Lou, Nick, everyone else. Good evening, panel, and Chris.
Get lost. Good evening. Hope you're all right.
Can I feel the love? Vinny will be in a bit, sitting in the box again.
Chris. So much love for you, brother. Evening, Ryan, as well. Blimey, everyone's coming in. Right then, fellas. Rabbit, what are you vaping tonight, brother? Or should we start with our special guest?
Yeah, let's start with our special guest. I've got a feeling I know what one of his mods will be.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
Over to you, Acapella.
So yeah, tonight I am on the All Blacks.
Nice. Ooh, that's nice.
By AMC, with the Asgard mini on it. And inside that I found this juice just in a not in a random shop, in my friend's vape shop, but it was a random juice that he got in. Called Pound It, yeah.
Strawberry version.
It is really nice. Really, really nice. So nice that I've done probably 80 meals within 3 days.
3 days? That's amateur numbers, Acapella. Come on, man.
I'm also using an old favourite with the same juice in, because we all know dripping can get annoying sometimes. So I changed over to a Squonk, and I'm using the Pulse with, again, the Asgard Mini on top with the same juice inside. And yeah, that's about it, really. I do have the Boost somewhere, but not with me. So it doesn't count.
That's okay, brother. Who are we going to next, Rabbit?
Josh.
Oh,
Josh, let's see what immortal stuff you're rocking tonight, brother.
I'll start with a non-immortal product, still on my Mulos.
Nice.
It gets carried around with me all the time, really.
Pretty, man.
It's great for, it's probably my most discreet vape, if that makes sense. So,
yeah.
I haven't got my Ryan because that went missing. A friend's got it, and I think she's just using it. So, but she's not smoking now, so that's good. So she can keep hold of it. That's fine.
That's superb.
On my Siege with a Resurgence on top, and that has in it. I have some Wraps coils in this, so I've just got some Wraps coils from the States. Sorry, Andy. I only ever really use Andy's coils, but these are phenomenal coils. There's not many of them around in the UK, but there'll be more coming over. And that has in it the Kilo Move Series Neapolitan milk, so strong. Sometimes I really like it, sometimes I don't. It's really strange. It seems to change. So, and then Gripnade and Apocalypse 25 Gear Edition with the bacon tray, the graham cracker marshmallow. I really like this stuff. This is probably my third bottle in about a week and a half. So
that stuff is good.
Flying through it.
Nice.
Excellent. Rabbit, you're in charge. Who are we going to next?
Well, I'm on me Vupu Vinci X. In that, I've got what was that now? 6 licks. Can't remember the flavour in there because I don't use it all day every day. Vinny's favourite juice by the sounds of that little cough there. I'm on my Beta Mods, which is my drag with me 3 Max Pro. In that is literally the last of that King's Custard cinnamon custard. I'm gonna miss that. That's gonna be And as always, as well, I'm on me Hog with me Valhalla. In that, I've got some Billiards Cola, which it smells and sort of tastes like the Marant Cola Chew, but when you're vaping on it, it's a slightly sour version of it, which is really
Now,
weird.
that looks like a very, very full bottle, Chris. How much of that you actually vape, buddy?
Very little, as I only opened it about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
That's all right.
I've literally just been started vaping on it tonight, so it's just I fancy the change from what I've been vaping on normally.
Is that a 70-30 mix, Chris, or is it a 50-50 like the other ranges?
70-30.
All right, I just wondered.
Okay, me.
Why not, Robert?
I'm on my fetch,
Nice.
running Sad Boys Strawberry Blood in a 6.
Nice.
Nice.
I actually like this. Is actually one of my favorite mods to carry around. And then I'm dripping on my Turk V2 tonight on the Mech Life Arcless with the custom leather sleeve that a buddy made for me.
Damn, that sleeve's nice.
That is so
I
cool.
like that.
And then I'm dripping the Basics Kicks V2. It's a corn puff cereal milk
Yeah.
because adults like flavors.
Definitely.
Oh
And
god,
that's
yes.
it. And now it's your turn, Vinny.
My turn. Okay, I'm on 2 devices tonight.
And the dog.
2 devices I've actually filmed the reviews for today, so I'm not going to say too much about them. One is the Geek Vape Aegis Squonk single 18650 with the RDA that comes with a kit on top. In there, I'm vaping some of the good old Bogan's grog. It's the Ridley Rich, the cookie one. Really, really nice cookie vape. It's that's the second bottle I've added this week of that. And my other device is the RPM 80 Pro from Smock. Bit like Chris's with a single 18650 in it. And in there, I'm vaping some of my local shops juice, Redemption Vapes, freshly squeezed, which is very, very cold. And yeah, Rabbit, on about the fetch, you seen the Pro that's been released? The
Oh
Fetch
yeah,
Pro?
we got some on the way to the shop. I'll have
Yeah,
them
I've
here
got
at the
one
shop.
en route for a review. They it looks rather nice.
Yeah, they do. I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have the single 18650 option in it. Yeah, look forward to that. Okay, fellas. Acapella, seeing as you're the guest, have you got anything you want to bring up for discussion tonight?
A whole load, to be fair, but I don't know. I mean, you know, I want to mention the obvious. Obviously, I want to mention the obvious. But
AMC, yeah.
Haven't got a clue.
That's what I like, Robert.
I'll just be real quick. I'll be my only plug, but I will say that I noticed that Sad Boy was being used. Was it yours, Rabbit? We have just officially put that on our site for purchase. So what we've done is it's not traditional. We're not selling multiple products on our site just for the sake of selling them. We do only have the Haka available on the site as a mech, but we figured, what if you wanted some juice? What if you wanted some cotton? What if you wanted some batteries? Why go looking for it? So we have put them on there. There will be coils on there soon. I just need to have the conversations. You
should holler at me. You should hit me up after the show. I can get you a good plug on coils. Good coils.
Sweet. I'm down for that. But yeah, so I just wanted to quickly plug that little detail in there. We haven't been loud with it. It went live Friday night, I think it was. And I've yet to do the promo video for it and all of the back work that goes with it. To be honest, it took long enough putting the products on the site, and there aren't very many of them. Well, what I will say is that there are drop-down options. So whereas you might only see one actual flavor being advertised in the picture, you'll if you click on it, you'll see a drop-down option, and you'll find all the other flavors that we have selected to go with it. But yeah, that was my first thing that I wanted to get out of the way. The second thing is, I don't know, I don't know about you guys, but if you notice that there's been a lot of restrictive behavior by Facebook towards you as a user.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the censorship is going up and up and up on Facebook, and I don't really know where it's going to end until they've pretty much driven us off it completely. I mean, the channel itself here, we can't share our live now director pages because of an embargo, because a thing got reported and was proved not to break community standards, yet they still put us on a ban.
Yeah, I mean, behind the scenes on the AMC page, it's being restricted in multiple ways. To be fair, hashtag AMC Warriors, 100%. But let's I'll tell you what, if there are any AMC Warriors on the show tonight, let's do a combined hashtag there, and let's have a bit of LXP love put in with it as well. So we can have a hashtag AMC Warriors with LXP love combined. I want to see that coming up. And anyone, you don't have to be an AMC Warrior to do it. Let's just flood it all. Let's get the comments going. Let's get LXP love hashtag going.
Oh, Alex.
Alex, you said hello to you, Vinny.
I thought he said, "Hey, gay son."
He did.
He did.
He knows Chris very well. That's all I'll say.
So yeah, I mean, with the thing, like I just noticed with the AMC page alone, you know, we're getting restricted in so many ways, as to the portals and the channels that we can post to, etc. I mean, we already have to be active about the groups that we post in.
There is a few individuals I know that are going around reporting groups randomly for things and getting the group shut down or getting the groups reviewed. Obviously, Vic's had some issues on YouTube as well recently, and YouTube we've now had to remove direct links to sales sites and things like that on the reviews now, so we can't actually have them in the description shared anymore.
What?
It's sad times. It's sad times. It's censorship of the highest order, really. Something that's a life-changing, healthier option for us vapers.
But I mean, this is again, you know, I've spoken to quite a few people in the background, you know, over the course of the last few months, and I keep getting the same vibe from them, and that is why, you know, we've lost the passion for Facebook and for the community. Why are we going to do anything? And I think if there's ever a time when we need to start being community orientated, it is now. To be fair. We need to be making noise now, not in 3 months' time when it becomes a thing that you can barely have a Facebook group, never mind a business page.
The thing is, obviously, we've seen the trouble that the States have had and Rabbit over there with his flavour bans and everything like that. And that's coming to us. Believe you me, that's coming to the UK shows. And if people are going to self-destruct from within these groups and the pages and get things restricted, it's just helping them. In the long run, it's helping anti-vape completely. So we need love. The community needs love. The whole community needs love. I mean, you see the reviewers itching, you see TVP having pops at Vic and vice versa and Empire and everything else. And it's all just bitching and it just makes us all look bad. It's not just groups and pages. Reviewers are at each other's throats and everything like that. And it's just not needed.
Look,
really not needed.
I've always said there's two types of marketing. There's positive marketing and negative marketing, and both of them get you the same results, except one gets you the results a whole lot quicker. And that's negative marketing. So by picking a dispute with someone, by starting and entertaining a dispute with a fellow reviewer or a fellow company, a fellow brand, whatever the case, ultimately what they're doing is trying to get a hype up behind it. The more attention that's paid to it, the more they're being looked at as a person, as a brand, as a reviewer, you know. So I mean, in terms of reviewers picking each other apart, I think that's a serious case for negative marketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And drama sells as well as negative marketing, let's be honest.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
all get along. Let's respect each other for the fact that we're all off the stinks.
But
I have no hate for anyone in this industry.
You know, I use mech mugs because they interest me, and I don't only use my own. I use whatever I like. You know, I've got a Vitality, I've got a Nameless. To be fair, I've probably got too many mods that I can't even list them.
Yeah, your Vitality, your Nameless is rather tasty.
It's
Rather tasty indeed. I remember you showing me at the expo. It was very nice.
Was that patinaed one that you had on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a patina hackers on me at Expo. But the Nameless I got was I bought it on the spot, which is something I never ever do. Believe me, I honestly do not. I procrastinate at Expo because I always go with a plan, always go with a certain amount of money and whatever else. You know, we all do it. We all try to regulate ourselves. And
I don't.
in that instance, yeah, I didn't either. I considered it, and I was like, I'm in an RN, and then Alex was trying and goes, "Tell you what, I'll do it for this," and I was like, "Boom, I'll buy it." But yeah,
that's a really pretty one, man.
It is one of my babies, and it is one that I'll never ever sell. That's for sure. But this is what I'm saying. You know, there's no need to be, you know, competing with other companies or brands or trying to say mine's better than yours, because in all honesty, it's all subjective. You know, we all have our favorites. We started vaping for a reason, and we all buy mods because we love them. You know, that's the ultimate foundation in it.
I spent half an hour talking to the guy that I bought my very first mod off yesterday. I popped down to where I was, and I was actually quite surprised he was still there, because I did buy it off a market stall, and he still works on the same market stall on the same days. I was like, that's actually, I thought he'd move into a shop, but he doesn't want to. He's quite happy to be moving around.
Yeah.
Going, because he says he reaches more people that way.
And it just spreads the knowledge easier that way as well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, as a market store, you're going to attract different people all the time, aren't you? You're going to attract the naysayers that are going to ask you why you're even there, why are you even selling vape stuff? Don't you know that stuff's dangerous? And then, you know, that gives them an opportunity to educate them a little bit. And then you're going to get the positive ones that are like, oh, dude, you know, you're selling vape stuff. I don't have to go vape shop now. I'm just buying the stuff off you. And you know, that's also great.
He doesn't have a website, nothing. He's literally just his market store. If you need anything, he'll get it at the best price he can get it for you. Every time I was like, kudos. Okay, he doesn't sell stuff like, you know, the Vinci's, the Drags and that. Like, he still sells like older style stuff that beginners really still enjoy buying and using nowadays.
But that's what sells.
Yeah. He's only in the market to help those transition. After that, once you've transitioned onto vapes permanently, you know, it's down to you where you go, who you go to. Stay with him, stay on them, fine. If not, move on. It's up to you, kind of thing. And that's really nice. I actually did like that.
I like people like that.
Yeah.
Just like our brother Rabbit up there over in the States.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's going on over in the States at the moment, Rabbit?
Oh, just the typical bullshit. You know how Americans do. We like to fuck shit up.
I bet you're sick to death of it, aren't you?
Hey, man, I'm just, you know me, Vinny. I'm just honest, man. All the shit over here right now is fucking bullshit. Like we were talking about a couple minutes ago, how drama sells mods. It really does, but we don't need that shit, man. We don't need it. Like if you make a quality product and you spread love and positivity, the mods are going to move for themselves. Like you don't need to spread hate and fucking drama to sell mods. There's companies doing it and it drives me fucking crazy. And I'm not even going to get into it, but you don't need that shit to sell mods, man. Like we should all be using whatever we want to use based off our preference and spread love. That's the only way to save this industry, man. We got to spread love and stay positive. The rest of that shit's going to destroy it if we don't watch it. I saw something the other day. A friend of mine commented on a post, and his comment, it made total sense. The guy was overcharging for mods. There was no reason to be asking the prices he was asking, and it was just a simple comment. You'll be lucky to get that money because it's overpriced. And then it was a whole fucking shit show about assholes that want to get involved in someone else's conversation and talk shit about somebody because they didn't like the comment. Like
I had that exact same thing happen today.
There
was a post in a Facebook group today. The guy selling some secondhand mods. It wasn't even the guy who shared the post. And I said the prices are a bit steep. You can get new ones for like a tenner more than what you're asking for the secondhand ones. Holy shit! They all just dropped on me. All the snowflakes. No. Unfriend. No. Like, if you don't like what I'm saying, unfriend me. So the guy said, "You know where the button is? Bang, gone. Bye. Don't need that sort of shit in my life."
I wasn't gonna call you out, Vinny, but you're the friend I was talking about.
He was literally even I got that. Come on, Vin.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's no reason for that shit. Like, it's almost like people are fucking bored and just wanna be an asshole just for the point of being an asshole. All that does is cause separation, man. And I'm not talking just vaping. I'm talking humanity, period. We need more positivity and love. Like, we should be coming together as a fucking as a being, not just a fucking race, not just a fucking color, as a being, as the fact that we're all the same fucking makeup. Like, we should not be destroying each other over petty shit.
Not laughing at you.
His house, he's thinking of selling his house as well. I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. Just all I said was it's a bit steep, and
Typical vape shit show, like always.
Yeah,
I missed it.
I totally concur.
I didn't see it.
If I'm honest, it doesn't take drama to sell stuff, and as much as there are people who are selling stuff overpriced, I have an issue with people who sell stuff underpriced secondhand.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that one either.
Well, no, honestly, it's just I mean, I'll be the first to admit, right? A couple of hackers have gone first, second, and third times. And that's okay, because that just means that the people didn't get on with the mod, which, like I said earlier, not everyone's going to love what you love. It's a subjective matter. But, one of the issues I do have is when someone's trying to, well, the other week we had someone call an actual hacker a clone, which, first off, can I just say, if my mod got cloned, I'm flattered. Just seriously. Nothing else to that one.
Looking at it, Acapella.
Yeah, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery and all that,
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, stop cloning my shit, but I'm flattered that you did. But also, not only did he call it a clone, which is just an insult in itself, but he's tried to sell it for like 20 quid. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Now this is, people see that and then they go to the site and they see our prices, which at the moment are 10 below the normal price, but it's still a relative chunk out your pocket at the end of the day. And they see the one for 20 quid and then they're looking at a brand new one on the site. I mean, I just go off what I think when I see stuff like that. And the first thought to my head is, why am I going to go and pay 90 odd quid for a brand new one when this dude's selling one for 20 quid? And
20 quid?
Yeah, as a brand owner. That's what he was selling it for until my team, because it was on a group I wasn't on. So my team, like I've always said in my life, my team are fantastic and they're really hot on things like this. So first of all, they went on and told, just informed them that there was no chance it was a clone. And then second of all, one of the other team members lived not too far away from the guy. So he was like, drop me an inbox, we'll sort something out. And thankfully, one of my team rescued it. But all the same, when people overprice or underprice secondhand, it has an effect on the original brand. And I'm saying that as a brand. I just think, when you're selling something on, it's okay because, you don't need it anymore. You're not going to use it. Someone else might as well. But I think what I would say is in the process of doing this, just take your personal feelings out of it. Take what you want to try and get the most for, or what you think you might know but you don't know, but you're going to look like an idiot by pretending you know.
If you don't know, just ask. There's plenty of people around that would have a rough idea. Same with if you're looking at buying one and you're not 100% sure if it's a clone or not. Don't get scared of asking. And I think this is where the negativity hits people as well, because if someone asks something and it's been asked a million times, people tend to jump on them for it and tend to have a go at them and belittle them. And I'll sit there and I do read some of these comments to some people. I think to myself, why? Not everyone's going to know everything about every single mod on this planet.
No, that's it.
It's just one of them things, and when people start second guessing themselves, that's where problems start to hit as well.
Both Ryan and Alex, you're not wrong. So Ryan, you're right in saying that the mod is aptly named because of the culture of my mother, who was a Maori. But Alex, you're not wrong, because the Haka is a tribal dance, tribal war dance from the Maoris. So yeah, you're both right, to be honest, by your statement and your question. It is an old tribal war dance, and the mod was aptly named because of the culture background of my late mother.
Nice.
Very nice touch. And the Haka 2 Acapella coming soon?
Well, not as soon as I would like. Not as soon as I would like. I think we're going to release a couple RDAs first. That's something that I'm definitely going to achieve this year. Purely because I want to try my hand at it. And also, as much as we have Karmati. As much as we have the Haka, I feel it's kind of defined AMC as a company. And when people talk about AMC, they actually generally refer to it via the Haka, which is fantastic. I love the reference and everything. But we want to, in other products, we want to show what AMC is truly about, which is
stand out sort of thing, separate rather than a follow-on.
Yeah. I mean, there will be more hackers. Don't get me wrong. But we have to cross a few T's and dot a few I's before we bring any brand new loud noise about any other hackers. And yes, that was a subtle reference to the interference we had at the beginning of our launch.
Yeah,
I remember reading about that.
That was interesting. I did get an official apology off that New Zealand channel as well.
And rightly so. To be fair, they took my words and they minced them pretty well as well. But obviously, I mean, the current company that did have an issue, they are registered in New Zealand, not in the UK, and they don't have any physical premises or company in the UK. So as for things like patents and whatever, that market's open to us. We can go and get them whenever we want to, unless of course the company comes in and gets them first, which would just be a complete DICK move. But hey. But in terms of hardware, obviously we're going to bring the All Blacks back. We've just stuck up a question sort of status post on our page, which we shared to our group, asking if people want it back early. If we have enough interest in that, then that's something that's going to happen. It'll come back permanently, and the patina is going to come back permanently. But in terms of hardware, it'll be an RDA first, and then maybe one more after, and then another tube mod. As I say, we want to, as much as we love the Haka and everything it's all about and the sentiment that's attached to it, and 100%, it's always going to be a part of our portfolio. AMC is so much more. We're more about community. We are more about putting the industry and community first and helping it in as many ways as we can possibly do that. However, we're restricted in the sense that we're not made out of money. And there's only so many courses we can support throughout the time with sales at their current point. And I think we pride ourselves on honesty as well. So the most honest thing I can say right now is that January really is the suckiest month of them all.
For real.
December's the most expensive, and January's the worst one because you've got fuck all money to scratch your ass with.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we'll still help out in rare circumstances. You know, I'm more than happy to support the British Lung Foundation. I'm more than happy to support anyone who's had a really rough time or whatever, and whatever we can do to help them out, whether it's be idiots on live stream for an hour or, you know, whatever we can do to raise money basically for that cause. AMC.
What are you trying to say about LXV?
But yeah, as I say, in terms of the Haka 2, it's there. It's not coming anytime soon, but it's there.
Coolio.
We need to get together, Acapella, and do something.
I am down for that.
Yeah. Got a great back history of working some of the big American Met companies. Big American Met companies.
Yes, I do.
And Vinny has a background in working with Chinese companies.
But I seriously want to work with a company though that really is about community, man. Because everyone on this panel knows that's more important to me than anything. And just hearing you speak kind of lights a fire under my ass, man. We really got to get together this upcoming week and talk a little bit because we might be able to maybe do something together.
I would love that.
That would be. Yeah, that would be.
What can I say? That was one of my better moments. That was.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, as I say, there are so many things that we can, you know, that we can do to help our community in ways like that. You know, AMC's last biggest project was helping out one of our friends actually, but it wasn't because he was a friend that we helped him. It was because of the drasticness and the type of guy that he was or is. That I decided to pull the AMC Warriors together and call them to arms as such, and said, "This ain't on. We're doing something about it." And now
you're talking around it. Explain to everyone what you did because it was pretty amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean that was his name was Michael Green, and he works for Darkstar. Now, most people are going to jump to the thought he works for a big company, he's going to be well off, etc., etc. But that's not really the case. He works for Darkstar, but he also works for another company, which I don't know the name of. And he works all day, every day, pretty much. But also what he does is if you find someone that needs a bit of help or can't afford anything or can't afford any juice during that period and they're having a really rough go, he's the very first person in line to say, "I'll help you." And this was one of the biggest reasons behind my motives for calling the Warriors to arms, really. Because without question, Michael would help anyone, anywhere, anytime. If it was brought to his attention and he could do something about it, he would. So he had his car broken into. And bearing in mind, he had this stuff hidden away. It wasn't out in plain sight, and there was no letter saying "take my things, please." But it was hidden underneath his seat, and they purposely targeted his mods. And now I'm not talking your average sort of mods. You know, they were really high-priced pieces that he'd spent most of his last couple of years probably like compiling together. Thankfully, none of his hackers were taken. I know that sounds superficial, but come on. I mean, you know, I would have sent him one straight away as soon as if it had been. But unfortunately, there had been other mods, and it totaled way over £1,000 worth of stuff that he took. And he didn't like when I first approached him about doing something for it. It was like, "Thanks, that's really thoughtful, but you don't have to." And my point was, no, I don't have to, but I want to. And I think that's, you know, I mean, he was still kind of like, it took me about 6 messages before he finally got on board with it. But I wore him down and he finally accepted that we were going to do something. So my second, Scotty Marble, and myself, we talked about what we could do, and the team carried out a whole host of different sort of tasks and whatnot. I tried to foolishly do a really complex roulette night that really didn't take off. But, you know, we learn. Next time it'll be a poker night. Roulette sucks.
I don't know. Last time I played roulette, I ended up walking away from the table 20 quid richer.
How did that happen?
I was betting small, and the woman at the table taking the bets took the mick out of me until I pointed out I was actually 20 quid up, and then they shut the table.
20 quid up.
All right,
Yeah.
Big roller there, Chris, wasn't you?
Yeah.
I don't bet. I don't do things like that. It's just one of them. It was like a spare at the moment thing. My mate said, "Let's go into the casino." Let's have a go. Cost me 15 quid to sign up, just to go in there and place some money down on a table and have a bet. You know what?
No.
Casinos are very business.
Sorry?
I spent a long week in Vegas, and that cost me money. So.
I'd be grateful if I went to Vegas. I would come back broke.
I would love to go to Vegas, but I'd be much like you, Vinny. I'd come back broke. And the reason is because I never know when to walk away, sort of thing, on those things.
Well, I went quite a few years ago, and the exchange rate was very good. I think I was getting $2 for every pound then. So I went. I
remember them days.
About $3,000, and I didn't come back with anything. But you know.
Did you have fun though?
I had loads of fun. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then you came back with something. The feeling of satisfaction of having.
I went with $3,000, and the first day I had $4,000 by the time I left the casino. So actually, I lost $4 in theory.
Nice.
Ow.
See, that's half my problem. Is I'll win some, or I'll win a lot, and I'll go, oh, but you know, maybe, and then that's when the trouble happens, which is why you know always say gamble responsibly and all that.
All in.
I didn't just gamble; I did other things, but you know, it was fun week.
I'd love to go to Vegas. I'd love to go to the States, full stop, if I'm honest. Apart from the ones that don't let you vape.
Yeah. Well, I'll be most of them soon, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you don't want to be bankrupt.
Yeah, you don't want an IUD either, mate. I'll tell you that. Right.
What's bankrupt?
You definitely don't want an
I guess
improvised.
there's a B missing. The coronavirus, right?
Oh God.
It's not massive yet. I feel for everybody in China. Obviously, a large vape community out in China. Our thoughts go out to them. Smock had given money to help try and ease the situation and whatnot. Yes, hello, Smock. Yeah, coronavirus. My take on it is it's a nasty form of flu. Maybe it's a bit more than that. It seems like it's a chest infection, cold and things. I know there's deaths from it and everything, and obviously our thoughts go out to them people. But those people had underlying health conditions and were elderly as well. I wouldn't worry too much about it here in the UK. Is my honest opinion. But like I say, our thoughts go out to those in China and around the world that have got it. I know there's a few outbreaks popping up all over the place now. But yeah, it's not really something I'm going to talk about overly, but I wouldn't worry too much about a UK standard point. It's not SARS. It's nowhere near as bad as SARS. I think the media have hyped up things a little bit.
To the point where people are making GIFs and memes now.
Yeah, it's the zombie apocalypse.
About, and it's a bit sick, but
I mean, the media are blowing things out of proportion and not exactly telling the full truth.
No way.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that.
Never. I do want to touch upon China though, because it's something that me and my team were talking about. UK made mugs. The actual words UK made, okay, is starting to become a bit of a stereotype. And I'm sure you can all figure out why I'm bringing this up because obviously the Haka, as it says on our website, is made in China.
Yeah.
But so is the iPhone. So, you know, it does beg the question why something as simple as the words UK made is being stereotyped. Because when someone says to me, they're like, sorry, go on.
You get the likes of Oggy, who makes so many mechs for so many UK companies now, and he is very proud of the fact that it's UK made and obviously manufactured. I suppose you get the complications where you come across UK designed and then Chinese made, like the Haka. I mean, I've always stood by and I still stand by, good Chinese products are as good as anywhere in the world. It's as simple as that. Bad Chinese products are bad, but you're going to get that in the UK. A bad UK product is still a bad product.
If your machine is good and your quality is good, it doesn't matter where it's made. Do you know what I mean? If your QC is good and your machine is good, you're golden, really.
Exactly.
It makes no odds. A good machinist is a good machinist, doesn't matter where they're based.
Exactly.
I think the same, but I just wanted to press upon it because I wanted to get your guys' sort of views on it. Because again, in regards to Oggy, I mean, he's a genius. He is literally a genius. I've seen some of the stuff he's thought up. Just
He's crazy.
He is crazy. 100% crazy.
He is from the Midlands.
100% hard to bloody have a conversation with, but he's a top guy. And when I say have a conversation, I mean on the internet. In person, he's a great person to have a conversation with.
If you can get him to stand still, he is.
because he's so busy, and he is actually really, really talented with what he does, and the sort of the innovations that he thinks of, you know, they're really smart. But as much as I hear UK made because they're manufactured in the UK, I mean, the one big question is where are the materials sourced? Because I'm pretty sure the UK doesn't produce most of the metals.
No, that's exactly the whole argument. Obviously, with Immortal and Purge and things like that, I'm just using that as an example, not as is every metal in the USA forged in the USA?
Yeah. Or
is it imported from other places? I mean, Rabbit might know a bit more about that than I do because he's smiling, and I know he probably does know a bit more about that.
No, he's messing with the logo.
But yeah,
I like the logo.
Okay,
so you wonder where I was going?
So, phrase the question for me, and I will try to answer as best as possible.
Is every raw product, say copper, brass, piping, USA made?
Okay, so as far as the metal, or as far as the actual mods when they're finished?
Metal.
No,
the actual metal.
Raw ingredient before it's been turned.
Okay, so most metals are actually imported.
Yeah.
Like I think the only ones that we actually have here are stainless steel. But when you're talking like copper and naval brass, most of that's imported. You like the mod manufacturers and stuff in the U.S. will purchase it by giant fucking chunks, bars, and they come in and then they mill them down. But we don't like the only metal that I know of that we definitely mine for sure in the U.S. is steel. Everything else is, I'm pretty sure, is imported to the U.S.
Yeah. I mean, the UK is pretty much the same, I would imagine. I mean, I'm not a professional in metallurgy, but so it really does highlight the question of how UK made is UK made. I mean, if you say UK manufactured, that's a different kettle of fish. And
manufactured is very different to made. It would be my standpoint on that. Because obviously, made, you could include the designing made, the milling.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from, Acapella. I really can. But
hairs, I mean, we split hairs on our website for the simple fact that we knew people would ask. We knew that would be the first question, and that's why we put it on our website page, so that it would eliminate the need to ask where the mods were made or where they came from. With Brexit, the Queen has now made it law so the EU cannot back out anymore with the deal.
Well, here's your answer. I've just been doing some Googling. So, yeah, you're right. You're right, Rabbit. The US produces steel and iron only. That's all they produce. They also check the UK as well. We do aluminium and steel. As far as the rates go, so the UK produced 0.1% of the world's steel. They produced 8 million tons last year. China produced 808 million tons. So yeah, pretty safe to say where most of our metal's coming from.
Yeah,
and I bet they.
So basically, every single mod we have is pretty much made either in England, America, or China.
Well, the raw ingredients pretty much for every mod are from China.
Yeah.
The thing that most people don't understand is like naval brass is the vast majority of naval brass is copper. I think it's like over 65% or something copper. But because I always hear people make an argument like, well, brass don't hit as hard as, copper does. That's actually not true. Most mod companies do not use solid brass to make mods. It's actually naval brass, which is 65+% copper. So most of those metals, like naval brass it's not a metal that you mine for. It's actually a produced metal. It is a metal that is made for specific purposes, and it actually started way back. Like that was one of the main metals used for like components in ships and things because it was easy to polish and keep from rusting. That's why they call it naval brass, because the Navy, the British Navy, and then the U.S. Navy used it for ships because it was easy to keep polished and it didn't rust like most metals do.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, that's where it got the name naval brass from. Yeah. But it's like 60-something% copper.
51% copper, 40% zinc, 1% tin, according to this.
So it's actually a produced metal. It's not a metal that we mine for. But that's why most mod companies use naval brass, is because of the high copper content. So it's still extremely conductive, but it has that really pretty gold look to it.
The problem with pure copper is it's too soft.
Yes.
So, I mean, in the industry I work in a hi-fi industry, and speaker cable gets talked about a lot. And it was like, well, gold this, gold that. Gold's rubbish, to be honest with you. It's too soft. It doesn't work. So copper is the choice, and other things are usually brass, but it's to do with the copper content of the brass. So they'll use a high copper content brass for things like plugs and stuff like that. Because copper's too soft, it just breaks.
I can understand that. I mean, I've been asked if I'm going to bring out a copper Haka, and truth be told, I mean, publicly, it's never going to happen. But my team have been promised a copper edition, so it's not like you won't not see them. It's just that it's going to be an in-house mod. That's going to be done. And the reason for that is, one, because it just wouldn't look great in copper, in my opinion. And that's just my personal opinion. But two, other metals sell better. And that's complete honesty. People would rather buy stainless
this is the way that they fold
to clean. I just hate cleaning it.
Well, Damascus is pretty, but it's garbage for conductivity. A lot of people think titanium mods are going to hit really hard. They're not. Titanium is shit for conductivity.
Yeah, really bad.
I was a huge nerd when it came to electrical stuff when I was growing up, and I learned a lot about conductivity and how electricity moves through metals. Titanium's like one of the worst fucking metals for conductivity. Aircraft aluminum is like a 50 times harder hitting than titanium. It's expensive. It looks pretty when you put fire to it and it changes color, but it doesn't hit worth a shit.
And try and machine it. It's ridiculously hard to work with. Titanium.
Yeah, honestly, if I had my own mod,
when you grind it, actually doesn't
Jesus
give off
Christ,
yellow spots. Sorry, everyone's lagging for me.
I was on a roll.
When you grind titanium, it actually gives off a bright white spark.
Like it legit, if I owned my own mod company, I would legit make aluminum, naval brass, and I would probably do SS to coat. That's it. I wouldn't fuck with anything else unless I did copper that was coated. That would be the only way I do copper, is if it was coated, and it would have to be a beryllium copper. Like it would have to be a dense copper. Otherwise, I wouldn't fuck with it. Copper's too dangerous, man. Like you could take a SS mod and I could throw it across the room and not have to worry about the fucking threads being messed up. If I grab a copper mod and toss it, if it hits wrong, the whole fucking bottom dents in, and then you're shit out of luck with your mod. It's just
I've had a few copper mods that are dented from being dropped.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
And the upkeep of copper as well is an absolute nightmare.
You clean it. The day you need to clean it, the next day you need to clean it.
I'm not going to lie.
Then your hands smell like pennies.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The vaping industry market is not only pod heavy, but it is always going to be headed towards the Cerakoted or the painted, because there's no upkeep. I mean, I've literally not had to do anything to this since I screwed it on and fired it the first time, and I've had this going for a good 5 weeks now. So, and then you look at this one. This is my original 000. I took it out and polished it Monday, and it's already, what I would term close to filthy.
It needs a clean.
So yeah, I mean, I can see why and how the market's headed that way, like towards the painted mods. But in terms of materials and the whole manufacturing, I mean, if brands want to use captions like UK manufactured or manufactured in the UK, that totally, I could totally rock with that. But when it's UK made, I'm just kind of like, well, it's not, because you didn't get the base ingredients from the UK. So, again, coming back to the initial subject, the branding of it, just kind of, it's a topic that I could always talk about.
Yeah, it's more of a wording problem, because honestly, you can't really say made anywhere when it comes to any product in the vape industry, because there's a piece of it somewhere that has a metal or a plastic or something that was not made here. Now you might have had it shipped in, and then you machined it and you threaded it and you made it for your specific mod. Yep. But that product came from another country. So in my opinion, it should either be designed here or manufactured here. But when they use the word made, it kind of gets under my skin, because it's like, you didn't make that copper, you didn't make that brass, like that was shipped in and you milled it. So you manufactured that metal, you didn't make that metal. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Totally agree.
It's just similar to designing any food product, or the packaging to food product. You can put designed in the UK, but the cereal or the product itself may be manufactured elsewhere, or the other way around. The food may be manufactured in the UK, but the packaging manufactured, internationally.
And that's usually how it is too.
Yeah. I love the pure brass. I lost that then.
Sorry, I'll pop it back up.
I love the pure brass mechs, and the polishing doesn't bother me. As for painted mech, I get annoyed if it gets a little scratch, as it then ruins the paint job. Yeah, I can understand that.
Unless you get a good coating, as long as the coating is okay. So the thing with coatings most people don't understand is the coating is simple. It's the prep. The prep has to be fucking pristine. If you're going to have somebody coat your mods, make sure they do the prep, and before they ever touch the fucking metal, put on gloves, because any bit of your skin, every freaking piece of your skin carries oils all the time. When you touch that mod, instantly that mod is absorbing oils out of your skin. Like it's instant, like it's within seconds. So if you're getting mods coated from somebody, make sure that they handle them with gloves after they purify them, because otherwise you're not going to get a good coating. If the coating's done right, it should last. I mean, you would have to really, drop it or bang it into something to fuck it up. It should stay on the mod.
I mean, that fell from about 6 foot onto like pavement, basically.
Ooh.
Yeah, like you have to really hurt them if they're coated correctly.
We get ours done by FMJ.
FMJ's good, man.
Yeah, the quality is fantastic.
I left that. Oh, sorry, Carol.
That's right. What was you going to say?
Now, carry
Chris,
on.
your manners tonight are very absent. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's my phone's struggling tonight for some reason.
But yeah, as I was saying, FMJ are like really good at what they do in terms of the coating and whatnot. I can't fault them for that. And the fact that we got Vapers Cloud permission to use the Asgard Mini inside the kit works really well with it.
I was actually planning on ordering one of your kits Monday, so
awesome.
I'm gonna get one of those black ones and try them out.
Yeah, definitely. We don't have them on the site, so you have to inbox me, as we are technically out.
I got you. I'll message you on Instagram or something.
That sounds good.
Facebook, whatever. Share some love.
But we do. I will say that we will have, like I said earlier, we'll have more coming back permanently on the website. So it's definitely. I've been inundated with emails asking for them. I look like I'm like doing my hair, but it's not. It's my hat.
And we are to be joined by Andy Bohane.
What's going on? How you doing, Acapella? You all right?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all.
We're 9 o'clock now. Awesome.
Same old. Hey, Tylee, shut it. Right? Don't start your shit now. Nah. How's everyone doing? All right? Oh,
Yeah,
Good.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm good.
Feeling heavy today. I'm on my diet. We went out last night for a meal, and I ate my body weight in terrible food because I haven't eaten in
man.
3 weeks.
Cheat day. It's all about a cheat day, mate. Do you know what I mean? You can have a cheat day once a week, and you can't get fat in a day. Do you know what I mean? So as long as you stick to your diet the other 6 days, it's literally you can have 1 day a week where you can completely splurge on whatever you want, and then as long as you stick to your diet the rest of the week, you'll be good. Honestly, that's what all bodybuilders and stuff do.
80-20, dude. 80-20, 8% good, 20% crap. You're good.
Yeah. But yeah, I ate far too much crap food last night as well. A great big calzone, load of chicken wings and stuff. Now I can get a delivery out here. You watch now, over the next few months, it'll be like boom, 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 like that. And bigger and bigger and bigger.
The day you get fat is the day I become rich.
Well, the thing is, yeah, well, maybe.
For moves and tubes, doesn't he? Because there's no moves on Andy.
Yeah, it's mine's all solid apart from under there.
For his page, for his page in the account, there were just specs and pecs.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, exactly. Decks and pecs, that's it with me, mate. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I don't think I'll be getting fat anytime soon. So, you know.
You're looking good, bro. You're looking good.
I've lost quite a bit of weight lately, to be honest. Like, I've lost a couple of stone again. But as usual, I'll put it back on. So it's not really.
I wish I could lose a couple of stone.
Yeah. Believe me, I didn't do it in a healthy way, if you know what I mean. It's like just stressing, not eating and stuff. So, you know, it was just one of them things. But it'll be all right. If I keep stuffing them pizzas down my face, I'll soon put it back on. But Vinny, have you not finished the toilet yet? Vinny, did you cover the glory hole at least? Do you know what I mean? I like, you know, you can't just leave that glory hole behind your head. Every time you move, you can see it.
I'm sure my neighbours would complain if I had a glory hole.
Maybe they wouldn't, mate. You don't know, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, Rabbit's
You never know.
like, he's like, as soon as Andy's come on, the conversation's just gone right downhill. Like, what's going on? Like,
glory holes.
It wouldn't be a proper glory hole, would it? It'd just be like mods just coming through. Like a mech just poking through the end.
Yeah.
Vinny be blowing his clouds through the hole.
Yeah, Josh, Vinny started vaping his mech through a glory hole. You like this?
Oh dear. Right, so what are we talking about this week then, apart from glory holes and other such stuff?
Chat, really?
Well,
Chat,
we've touched on mechanical mods and them saying where they're made, manufactured, and obviously the raw materials 99.9% of the time come from China.
Yeah.
Acapella brought it up because obviously there's been a bit of an issue with companies using made in the UK rather than manufactured or designed, whatever.
Yeah.
We've basically gone around that and glory holes.
There's interpretation of the words UK made or USA made or German made or Australian made, whatever the country. There's just a lot of interpretations to it. Whereas if you were more like, manufactured in the UK or designed and manufactured in the UK, there's only one interpretation for that.
If it said German made, I'd probably believe
I mean,
Germans
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's a pretty clear description in trading standards and stuff like that, what you're allowed to say is UK made and what you're not. I know this from when I used to be into fishing. Certain companies, they moved the production of like stuff to China, and they were still charging the same prices, didn't tell anyone for a year. So this isn't just something that happens in the vape industry, like this is something that just goes on in general. And people carried on buying this gear based on the fact it's British made. We know the quality's there, this, that, the other. And, the quality was still all right, but, there were differences. There were noticeable differences. And I suppose that can happen with anyone. But I know of a couple of companies, I'm not going to say it, right? I'm not going to say their names or anything, but I know of a few that are not made in the UK anymore, right? They might have been at one point, but they certainly aren't anymore. And although they're not claiming it now and they're writing it on websites or anything like that, they're certainly not giving people the information and telling them that it is in fact made in China. Do you get what I mean? So people are still going off the old assumption of old reviews and stuff. This mod, these are all handmade in the UK or whatever, and they're just not.
I'm curious why you're not naming them, Andy.
Pardon?
I'm curious why you're not naming them.
The reason I'm not naming them is because, I don't want to be a prick, basically, all the time. I like it sometimes.
Great
answer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, man, you can't be an arsehole all day, every day. Do you know what I mean? You got to, give someone a chance sometimes. But, it'll all come out, and I just hope that when these companies, and it does come out about them, they get the same amount of shit that other people have got for it. Do you get what I mean?
Could you be referring to maybe a 3D printed style of mech?
Boo?
Well, yeah. I mean, not anymore. Morningstar and Nameless mods. Yeah, indeed. They are made in the UK, the later versions. The V1s weren't, though. All the Morningstar stuff's made in the UK. I know that.
I think what we're saying there is all the material sourced in the UK. Is it?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that it comes down to with me is that 99.9% of stainless steel comes from China. Do you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, the majority of it comes from China. And the 1% that doesn't, companies like NASA get that. Do you know what I mean? Aerospace companies get it. This, that, the other. They get that high quality stuff. Do you know? So it's one of these things that I've never, people say, yeah, all of our materials are sourced in the USA or whatever, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, really? I don't believe it. Do you know what I mean?
We got that bit covered, didn't we, Andy?
Yeah.
I just find people using it as a USP on main platforms. It's a very strained version of the truth.
A little bit deceiving, definitely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with any company doing it. And, as far as I'm concerned, I just think that, the more honest people can be, the better. That's the way that I see it. Do you know what I mean? And people can make an informed choice.
We all know it's you, Rabbit.
Rabbit, if you like, Rabbit's had Botox again.
But going back to Samuel, who mentioned that Nameless and Morningstar are UK made. That's because Alex asked if we knew of any brands that were 100% UK made. And again, I would say to that as much as the interpretations are multiple, I think if you're asking of brands that are UK manufactured and very bloody well as well, then Nameless and Morningstar would definitely be the first two companies I would recommend everyone to. Because, you know, as I showed off earlier, I have a Nameless myself, a limited edition, and, you know, it's a powerhouse, absolute powerhouse. And, you know, I've yet to get a Morningstar mod, but it is on my wish list of mechs. So, it's, you know,
it's good stuff. I mean, like, you know, with Nameless, it was him. It was the V2 with the switch. Do you know what I mean? He, like, you know, and that was what the main difference is, really, isn't it, between the V1 and the V2 is the switch, which was, do you know what I mean? Which was designed by, you know, made by Oggy or whatever. So, you know, Nameless, I don't know 100% whether they're actually getting the whole tubes made by him now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying they're not. I just don't genuinely know, like, you know. So,
well, last I heard, they were, but I don't know that for sure. That's not official. And because Nameless are obviously friends with AMCs, I'm not going to go out there and state.
No. I'm not trying to say anything about them. I was just,
Yeah, no, as I say, as last I heard, they were manufacturing the whole shebang. But who knows? As I say, as mod companies, for UK manufactured, not UK made, but manufactured, those two companies would be the top two companies that I would refer people to.
And like, you know, Signature SQ for Squonk, like, you know, like straight away, like if you want a decent British made Squonk, get an SQ217, you know, like they're really good mods. I've got a couple myself, you know, and I've had quite a few of them over the time, and you know, they're a good company and good customer service as well. Do you know?
I've heard nothing but good things about SQ.
Yeah, you know, and you know, it's like it's not really like there's anybody else in the UK that's making, like, you know, Squonk mods on production scale like they are of that quality. There's just not.
It's a niche market. It's a very niche market to come on and you know onto the industry and bring such a classy product as well, and well made product. You know, they've certainly done it extremely well.
I've had quite a few over the years. I've only ever had a problem with one, and that was sorted out with no question. Do you know what I mean? That was sorted out. I sent it back, and before they'd even got it back, they'd sent out a replacement for me.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because they, I mean, granted, they kind of know me because of fact, you know what I mean? I bought it at Expo and was talking to him and everything, and this and that and the other. So the guy knew who I was, so he was like, you know, obviously he didn't think I was trying to scam him or anything, you know, like you know. But like that to me is great customer service. It was, you know, the day that I sent it out, you know, they sent the one out to me, and that's great. You know, a company that stands by their product like that. I've known plenty of other companies, like, again, not going to mention names or anything, but
I'm good in a minute.
Is they Vinny's loving it. But yeah, you put me off. Go on then, say it. What are you going to say?
UK made regulated mods.
Right.
Don't talk Rebel Vape.
Yeah, Rebel Vape, their customer service is
I am having a fucking nightmare with it.
Their customer service is garbage. You order a mod that they say it's in stock, and you pay for special delivery next day. They don't even ship it out for 2 weeks because they haven't even really got them in stock. They've got to make them, right? And then once you get it, like, you get it. If there's any problems with it, you send them an email. They don't reply for 3 weeks. I mean, in the end, I had to bring up
longer than that for Vinny.
Yeah.
My bit gets even better than that. Right.
Oh, I know. They fucked you over.
I bought a Rebel Vape DNA 250 dual.
On my advice.
I bought it.
Yeah.
It didn't work properly from day one. I tried to do the Evolve update, and it made it even worse. Message after message after message, nothing. They was at Expo in October, so I rocked up with a mod and gave them it and told them I wanted them to sort it. Took it off me, told me I'd have it back in a week, new chip in it, no problem. No new chip, didn't do squat with it, changed the battery connections, another 20 emails to them, and I've now posted it back to them the start of December. Royal Mail tracking delivery says it's arrived. They tell me they've not got it.
No.
Where the fuck my 250 quid mod gone?
Mate, if it's there and it's been signed for, that's on them. Do you know what I mean, mate? That is on them.
Yeah.
If
That's now an ongoing thing because they're saying that they haven't got it. And
well, you need to. Have you been in contact with Royal Mail over it to find out? Because, like,
yeah, it's been delivered. They're saying it's been delivered.
What, to that address? Definitely 100% to that address.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the name signed for it? Because I've had it
with
some.
I can't remember. It's in the house, mate.
Where they put like Miss Piggy or Kermit the Frog or something on there.
Right.
You know,
I'm so pissed off with them. I mean, JA's bigs up Rebel Vape because they make his little fucking nice little mods that he makes a nice bit of cash off. Don't fucking buy them, folks. Just don't go there.
I've had a few, mate, and I've got rid of them. That I feel bad, right? That I actually told you to get one because they were really good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and like that was because the one that I had first, I never had an issue with it. You know, the first one I had was fine. I never had an issue with it. Then I got another one, and I had issues. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, basically, I was walking, and I was holding the mod like that, so the switch was facing down. It just fell out. I was like, what? The 3D printed switch just fell out. And they were like, has it been dropped or trodden on or something? I was like, trodden on? I was like, you can see it's got a mark on it. Well, on their website, they've actually got a picture of them showing how strong their mod is with somebody standing on top of it. And there's another one with somebody driving over a car and stuff like that because it's got...
Well, if mine comes back, I'll stand on the fucker and then see how strong it is.
Yeah, then Australia.
I think they just got
Both give me some review and it will come through his fucking ceiling, mate. Right through the floor, like, do you know what I mean? If you stamp on it, Jesus.
I think it sounds like someone just got themselves a Photoshop license, personally.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, look, I've got, you know, on the face of it, it all seems great, but when you've got to wait all that time for, do you know what I mean? And what they say about is how good their guarantee is and how they stand by their products and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. They did with me. They did replace things and they did sort it out.
Alex has asked another good question. He said, what about mods made in the Philippines? Are they made with Philippines sourced metals and manufacturing? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I know mods
probably be the same as the rest of the world.
The only Filipino mods I've ever used are my Vicious Ant stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that's the only Filipino mods that I've ever used. Like, so I don't know what sourced where really with them. I've never looked into it, but yeah, like it's just one of them things. Like, you know. Who was it that came out with the whole thing of Filipino mods are high end? Do you know what I mean? Who, like, where did that fallacy come from? That anything from the Philippines is high end, but stuff from China's not. And
I started it.
You started it. It's always you, Rabbit. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, in contrary to Samuel's comment there, I would say the reason for that is because most components for regulated have to come from, you know, international, if anything else, unless you can print some PCB boards and do your own circuitry and stuff, and then mass manufacture it as cheap as possible. I would say that's the reason why you don't see many or any other UK names for regulated mods.
Well, if I want a regulated mod in the UK, I go to Ian Denny, which is ID Custom Box Mods. He's the one who made my Predator and my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles box mods. Like, you know, if I wanted a regulated this from the UK, okay, the box probably came from China to start or wherever to start with, and I know for a fact that the Evolve chips do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, or whatever, you know. And the lipos probably come from China, and all that stuff as well. But it's put together in the UK. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for me, that's as close as you're going to get, really.
But this is what I mean about like term-sensitive marketing, because instead of putting things like UK made, like you said, batteries, boxes, chips, whatever can come from China, Taiwan,
assembled is the word they need to use.
The company actually said UK assembled or assembled in the UK. It would be a little bit more, it'd be a little bit more accurate, I reckon. But as for your friend who does the custom mods, I dare say he makes them to order.
Yeah, he does indeed. Yeah,
and the reason for that is because of cost. Unless you can do your own PCBs and manufacture them on a large scale with little to no investment, it's really hard to have a constant stock of regulated mods. Although I do take my hat off to people who can make their own mods in that way. I actually have a friend who makes his own series boxes. He was Idle Vapes or Idle Mods.
Idle Mods.
Yeah. His mods they'd hit like a dream. Although, he had teething problems. Of course he did. But he was pretty talented at what he printed, 3D printed. And his
Is Idle dead now then, Acapella? Has Brendan completely got rid of?
No and yes. I can't officially comment in terms of his intention.
That's nice.
That is nice.
And my logo. And my logo on it on both sides. And the thing is, as well, is the guy stands by his work. I mean, this is all laser etched, and the internals are just, it's just so neat, and everything's just done exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's exactly perfect, and it's got the right thing, so I can just switch out the lipo if I need to, and I compare that to my Mad Modder, and this really is better. The insides and everything, like the internals have done better than on my Mad Modder that I've got, which cost a lot more.
Yeah,
so, I mean, before I started reviewing, I was linked with Blitz mods in the UK. I know Andy's had one as well. But yeah, I'm not going to go any further on that at the moment.
Well, in all honesty, right, I will say that Simon's work, right, his internal work and the way that he does everything is very, very good, because he comes from the RC, do you know what I mean, the radio control car type thing. So that's where he learned all of the electronic side of things and this and that and the other and about everything. Then he got into vaping and he just took the knowledge from one to the other, So
that's what vaping is, though.
Yeah.
And you really look at the core basics of, you go back 4 years. I mean, I've been vaping for nearly 5 years now. And I'll go back to like the very first time I stepped into the community. And it was very apparent that any mech mods or any non-regulated mods were just, people had taken their other skill sets and implicated them into the vaping sort of scene, and therefore producing their own custom-made or self-made mods. I mean, we've all seen those videos going about where people hold a wire to a battery and then hold it to an atomizer and try and take a vape that way. I mean, the industry started by somebody messing around and then finding that something worked.
Yeah, I mean, the first mech mods or whatever were made out of torches with the top piece cut off and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it was literally, that was your tube and stuff. Like that was the first ones I ever saw before production ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were literally homemade. Like you'd have like a metal torch, like Maglite or something. Do you know what I mean? The top of it, and they'd make their own deck. You know what I mean? Like hybrid top or whatever. And then they were drilling out the atomizers and stuff, like the Nautilus, do you know what I mean, and stuff like that, drilling out the holes in the bottom and all of that kind of stuff, and there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on, and I think that's something that's missing now a little bit from the vape industry, was all of that innovation, but not just from companies, from individuals, just from people doing stuff on there, right? You know, like that's what I mean is, you know, and it's the same with coil building and that kind of thing. Like, you know, it's like a lot of the builds that everybody uses, you know, or everybody does, all pretty much came from the same place. You know what I mean?
There's a reason why there's an influx of coil builders within our community, and it's because, you know, people have passed on their knowledge to other people, and those people, and it goes on and on. But the community is kind of, we were talking about it earlier, how Facebook is becoming more and more restrictive to groups and pages behind the scenes now, not just in the public eye, but behind the scenes as well. I mean, I was saying earlier that the AMC badge page has a red notice up the top, and it says you're not allowed to advertise. Pretty much, it says a few more words than that, but that's ultimately what it's telling me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, that makes sense. It goes against the community standards. But at the same time, it's still restrictive. And I know that other groups have been feeling it as well. But what that does in turn is it, again, passes down the line. And then it gets people in the community going, Facebook is dead. Why am I even on it? Why am I doing this anymore? You know?
Sorry, can I just 2 seconds? Kobe Bryant's died. Like, I don't know if you guys know who he is. Like, Kobe Bryant's died in a helicopter crash. Literally, I've just, like, somebody just messaged me like, "What is Kobe's died?" Like, literally, like, I'm.
Oh, he's a Lakers player.
Well,
he played for a few teams. Oh my word!
Teams, but like, basically, Kobe's like. Do you know what I mean? He was like the Michael Jordan of these days, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's like, it's just, yeah. I just literally bit of
41, man.
Yeah,
Jesus
helicopter
Christ.
crash. You know, that's just yeah, that's really sad. That is, and you know,
Yeah,
not just for his family and everyone, but for, you know, the sport as well. I honestly think it would be a bit poorer without him in it. You know.
Jesus.
So he was like the king of basketball. Then.
Well, I haven't followed basketball that much for a long time.
Basketball.
But Kobe, basically, yeah, like, you know, you can either buy Jordans or ones that are like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's basically, and I think even Michael Jordan said, like, you know, Kobe's like better than him, or, you know, it's good. Do you know, it's kind of along that kind of lines. But yeah, he's a very, very, like, he's kind of like what David Beckham was like of soccer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Football over here.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Very good comparison.
Yeah, like, you know, he's like a real big name. That's really sad news. Really sad news. And yeah, my heart sort of goes out to the family and, you know, anybody else that's affected by it. You know, just sad.
Who's getting a back massage?
It's not Andy having an angry wank.
Actually, Rabbit, he's got his head down, look.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like writing his
So
will
Rabbit
or
or Andy, because one of them's having an angry
I'm on my
wank.
phone. I'm looking at. I'm in the chat.
It could be your phone, Andy.
Hey,
because he didn't do it until you joined the stream.
Oh.
It could actually be your phone.
no, it's probably all the fans in my computer, mate.
And we all know now that Andy.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I can. 2 seconds. I'll stop this.
We all know now that Andy still hasn't cleaned his kitchen.
Right, shut up. Don't say stuff like that. Don't start spreading vicious. No, don't start. It's what it is there's some new vaping stuff behind there that I can't quite reveal yet. And that's why it's there. Come on.
Yes, Ataku, it must be. Well, he's the only one in the bog.
My phone.
Okay, is it stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just underclocked my PC and I've only got one core running on it now, so all the other fans have shut down, and there you go. That's why that noise has gone now. So yeah, it was me. I just forgot to do it this time. Normally I do every time, but I just was rushing. Phantom wanking.
I was going to say, yeah, in my phone, because my Wi-Fi is rubbish.
The wango of the
I'm on Earth.
I figured out one. Oh, it's back again.
I know it's not me. My Wi-Fi is beast mode.
I live in a little tiny village on the crux between Devon and Cornwall. I'm literally 5 miles Devon, which is a big thing here, by the way. Because if it was 5 miles Cornwall, it'd make me Cornish, which is just.
Which I'm glad you're not.
Yeah, let's just not go there.
Two Devonians on the show.
Right,
On the show.
do not start on about jam and cream and what way it goes on.
Oh, mate, I don't dispute on that.
Do you know what I say? Is you put cream on one half, put jam on the other, and smack it together like that, and then it's done, isn't it? Let's see
It's all over your face.
Just whack it on, whichever way it goes. Just whack it on.
That's why I look at it like a sandwich. You know what I mean? One on one side, one on the other. Done. And then there's no arguing.
I'm not gonna lie. I got a big mouth. I'll be the first to admit that, but I can't fit like a whole scone going in there.
Yeah.
Depends how big the scone is.
Yeah. If it's a mini one like that, it'd be all right. Vincent could probably fit a whole pack in his mouth.
What are you trying to say?
That's what he's got his beard there for. He's got like a man bag underneath his neck there, right? And his beard's hiding it, and that's what he keeps his snacks in.
Vinny, are you gonna take this? This man's like John Wayne firing with shots.
I always get it Acapella. It's water off a duck's back these days, mate.
Well, his name is Jason Statham.
Yeah. Hey, there's no snowflakes in here, so do you know what I mean? It's all good.
We know I'm a snowflake.
Show.
I fully admit I'm a snowflake. Get back in your envelope.
Right, there is nothing wrong with a snowflake. Just, yeah, there's just nothing wrong with a snowflake.
That fucked up.
I have no idea where that was going. It went somewhere.
Yeah. Chris, stop
He's
taking
going down.
Right, look, I've got to say, the comments in chat have seriously gone downhill now. Do you know what I mean? We've got like Phantom Wanker, and Chris, stop taking Viagra. Just pets down and grabs a few snacks.
Who said I take Viagra?
It's Chris. It was somebody said to Chris, stop taking Viagra.
Oh, it's Alex.
Yeah.
Cheeky little fucker.
Paul's in there. How you doing, Paul? You all right? Right, I'm going to be quiet now and let somebody else talk.
What?
Who are you? What have you done with the real Andy? I want to know.
Yeah.
Normally, you can't shut him up.
Although I am going to say, Andy's kind of picked up on a gold idea there. Like literally a chin snapback.
Yeah. I think that's a marketable product, I've got to say. You know what I mean? You could even have a bigger one. Sort of like a horse's nose bag. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
The beard's getting away, though. How are we going to cope with the beard?
I don't know how you cope with that thing stuck to your face, mate. Anyway, I really don't. I'm like mine. It gets a certain length. It's like right off it goes. I can't.
I'm not gonna lie. Mine is getting like literally on my last nerve.
Yeah.
Trying to eat a fried egg sandwich with this, mate. It's enough. It's like a bush tucker trial. I'm just putting that out there.
Bush tucker trial. What's that?
Beard oil once a day, every day. That's all I use.
Right. It's just
I've got
beard oil
and beard oil.
Yeah,
but
I've got but it doesn't stop. Yeah, it doesn't stop it annoying me. And in the end, like it's just. Or normally, what happens is I'll give it a go, and then I'll try and trim it, and I'll fuck up one side, and so it'll go lower that, and then
like Zippy did.
Fuck off, and it's gone. This is why Paul's not on, because currently. Otaku looks like a skinned rabbit.
Is he shaved it off?
Yeah, he's got a little tiny goatee, and honestly, it didn't even look like him. He sent me a picture last night, and I was like, "What?" That's why I shaved mine off. Yeah.
I almost don't want to share the hotel room with him now. He's going to freak me out.
Yeah, mate. Like, what the hell was?
I'm not gonna lie, right? But I also have real mustache troubles. All right. Now everyone knows I'm not exactly a small guy, right? Which is where the moobs and tubes thing came from. Just saying. But every time I lay down to go sleep at night, my mustache goes up my nose. Like it's like I've got 10 times the amount of nose hair going on there, just tickling away. Whilst
I keep mine trimmed. I keep mine really short.
Yeah, so do I. But you know, with no teeth, I kind
trim
of
the bit. I would say just trim the bit between your nose and like underneath your septum and that bit where it goes up.
Underneath my rectum.
Yeah,
septum, you definitely.
Come on, mate.
This is.
I'm not talking about your gooch.
I get it with vape. Like, that condensation on there. It's like,
yeah.
And the worst one is if you ever done nose rips and like the hair up your nose and the bit like it happened to me once. I had to shave it all off afterwards because I literally had a ball patch. Like, you know what I mean? So I did like 10 nose rips on it.
I don't think that would really bother me too bad.
It was open season. It was open season on the prospect. So do you know what I mean? Like I did, I had to do back and this and that and the other. So I was just doing stupid stuff like that. I do not recommend doing nose rips to anyone, though. That's a public service announcement. Like that. We're not saying that's a good idea. Only do it if you're stupid.
If you are stupid.
Yeah. So, what else is news then? Any other topics we're gonna cover today?
Yeah, Josh Tilley's nose ripping.
Josh Tilley, he's only got one nostril anyway. He's got.
Rabbit, tell us about the situation over in the States.
Sorry, what?
Tell us about the situation over in the States at the moment.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. The weather's nice. We got pretty good food.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, GDP's, best it's been in a long time, and that is, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Got the Super Bowl next week. It's all good.
We're gonna order dinner tonight, so we don't have to cook. That's pretty nice.
Well, I keep seeing bans are being lifted and then being reimposed and then being lifted and literally acting like someone on their time in a month sort of thing.
Okay, so my opinion on what's going on is the reason that we're getting like a big public announcement of this flavor ban coming and we got to vote this day and all this stuff, and then we got it overturned and they're gonna hold off for a little while. I think it's more strategic than a lot.
He's muted himself.
Do you want me to not talk about it? I can just
no, I ate the wrong word.
He's done it to me before, Rabbit, mate. Don't worry.
That's what I was trying to do. Sorry, Rabbit.
So what I was saying is, I think honestly, it's a way for them to slide in some other shit, because if you notice the T21 thing, it was actually part of another bill that they tried to push through and then got denied. And then all of a sudden they slid it in another bill that had nothing to do with vaping. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's T21 everywhere. So I think they're doing the same thing, but with these flavor bans, they're trying to maybe pull back a little. So it looks like it gets people a chance to let off the gas. And then they come and slide that shit in under us with some other, they're sneaky, man. Like it's crazy. From what I noticed, the hardest part is like shops in New Jersey and California and other states where they have passed this flavor ban. Looks like they're losing a lot of shops. So a lot of shops are closing down. So even if they do fix it, even if it does get overturned, even if they do wake the fuck up and realize that we're only trying to help people, even if that happens, we've already lost so many shops. It's fucking heartbreaking, man, because these are people like very similar to me and my wife who got into the industry or opened our shop because we believed in it. We could help people. Like the whole purpose of it was to help people. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dumped my family's life savings into it, because if you're getting into this industry to get rich, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. This whole industry is based on saving lives. Like that is where it stems from. It gave people a safer alternative to smoking. It's based on saving lives. So if you don't get into the industry for that reason alone, then you're in it for the wrong reasons, man. Like that's why we focused on opening a shop. We wanted to try to do more. We wanted to find another path to get to people, to try to help people get off these fucking killers. Yeah. And I think we've done it. I mean, I think we've done quite a bit. Like we're coming up on 2 years, the shop being open, and I feel like we've helped quite a lot of people, and we want to keep pushing that. But when you've got your government so fucking corrupt, so fucking focused on money over the human life, it's real hard to fight something like that, because no matter what you show them, you know, look, we're actually helping people. Look, it's not our vaping that's hurting people. You know, no matter what they put forth, and then we come back with, hey, look, it's not that. It doesn't matter, because it's about money to them. The fact's simple. They make a shit ton of fucking money off cigarettes, a shit ton. Like they literally print fucking money with cigarettes. Yeah. So it's almost impossible to combat something like that when you've got billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars a month rolling in from tobacco. It's hard for an industry as small as ours that's based on mom and pop shops. Like this industry started with that. We are a grassroots industry. Our industry literally started with us making our own shit so we didn't have to smoke fucking cigarettes. Like that was the whole purpose of it. And then you got people that are so money hungry that they don't give a fuck. We've already proven that it's safer. We've already proven that. We've already proven that if you're underage and you go to a vape shop, you can't fucking buy vape shit, because we card people. So there's ways to fix it. The problem is they're so focused on money that it's hard to get around it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're so focused on that fucking profit that like everyone says, man, blood money. Like it's that simple. They're making money off of fucking death. Like they are literally capitalizing off of death. So their whole goal is to get as many people hooked as they can, sell as many cigarettes as possible, and then hopefully by their parents smoking, the kids fall for it. And then you got the next generation coming in as they're killing their fucking parents out. Like it's literally based on killing people. Like it blows my mind that we can't, that our government's so fucking corrupt that there's not one person that can stand up and go, hey, wait a minute. These people are actually trying to help save human life.
Yeah.
Like that is the fact. The fact is vaping saves fucking lives. That's a fact. The only thing that they're saying is, well, look, somebody put fucking something that kills people in a vape, so vaping's killing people. Like nothing that they have fucking come at us with has been true. None of it. We've proven every fucking bit of it wrong. And they're still trying to fucking shut our industry down. Like, yeah.
Do you guys have an organization that's sort of statewide?
Oh yeah.
That works, because like over in the UK, I know there's things like the NNA and a few other organizations that obviously work towards our current regulations that are in place. So for you guys, do you?
Oh yeah, we have tons of big organizations that are fighting. It's just I don't mean to get all fucking like on a high horse. It's just it hurts, man, because like I said, me and my wife got into this to help people. So when you sink everything you have into something because you believe with all your heart that it fucking helps people and it gives you an opportunity to get into other people's lives and to help them have a better life, that's like, to me, that's the purest form of happiness. Like we were so focused on saving lives that it changed our life. Like it helped our relationship. It helped our marriage. It helped our family, because together we worked hard to help others. So that, like, it made us stronger. And then to turn around and to watch them try to destroy it over money, like that shit sucks, bro. Like it sucks the life out of you. And the guys on the panel know, like, they've seen me go through these fucking waves of emotions to where I'm happy and I'm on point and I'm ready to go one week. And then the next week I'm down and I don't talk to nobody, because you know, we all deal with shit. Like I've got severe PTSD, which it brings on drastic anxiety. And when I try to deal with it, and then I flip on the news or the Facebook or something, and I see, oh, well, vapes are bad, they're killing people. When I know for a fucking fact they don't. When I know for a fact with everything that I believe in that they don't, and then you see that on fucking national television. Like, that shit is mind-blowing to me. And no one's accountable for it. Nobody. Like, we don't have any way to go after media and say, listen, you've spread propaganda that destroyed a fucking industry. There's nothing we can do about it. We have to sit here and work our asses off to try to rebuild something that we believe in, because they're allowed to destroy it with fucking words, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Have you, as a community in the States, because although we're all one big community, obviously we are slightly defined by our locations as such, do you have any sort of channel in your community where you have alternative media? Because of course there's mainstream media, and they do what they're told. They report what they're told to report, and they write what they are told to write at the end of the day, and they have no choice about it because of who their benefactors are. I think everyone knows that the media has always been controlled by the people with the best purses, but there's always been an alternative media stream of people who utilize the exact same sort of methods, if you like, so they have just as big an audience. For instance, what you're doing right now with LXP, that's an alternative media.
Exactly.
Everyone with a blog, everyone with, and have you, does anyone think about coming inside other industries, for instance? Because obviously vaping does save lives. So what about other products that saves lives that are also prejudiced? Are you able to not collaborate and make a bigger spread, make a bigger noise, and appeal to a bigger audience? Well, therefore, you're not only monopolizing alternative media, but in the same sense, you're also widening your audience. And you never know, at the same time, by collabing those two communities, you may actually end up affecting the other community that might be full of smokers who turn to vaping, and therefore you save in lives that way.
Well, honestly, I think that I know y'all are in Europe, so y'all see what's going on through a whole nother spectrum, because you're not, what I'm saying, it's hard for y'all to see everything that's going on here because you're over there. I honestly believe that the LXV is helping. I honestly believe that these other YouTube channels are helping. I believe that some of these Facebook groups are helping. I believe that some of Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and things like that are helping, because we're getting more and more positive word out there. I know it looks like when you see like New Jersey falls and you're like, oh my God, another state falls. And I know it looks bad from that point of view, but from what I noticed in the street and dealing with people and actually seeing things on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram and things like that, I truly believe we are making a difference. I think that what we're doing right here, spread positivity, spread love, draw people together, fight together for humankind. This isn't just about vaping, man. Like, this is a chance to save fucking human lives. Like, it's the most important fucking thing that there is, period.
So the way I see that is vaping is like a revolution. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like we're people, and we're revolting against the mainstream thing of smoking is the only option for nicotine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a worldwide revolution. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's all over the world. People are looking now, and there is actually an alternative to smoking that is healthier, and and it does give you that, that the get rid of the craving for the nicotine, whereas a lot of people struggle with patches and gum and stuff like that. This actually works, and there's so many people all over the world, but it's getting everybody to come united together and say, do you know what I mean, and all be singing from the same hymn sheet, if that makes sense,
So my thing is that we know for a fact, and not just in the US, but worldwide, I'm talking this entire rock that we fucking live on, we all know for a fact that cigarettes are the #1 killer, period. Cigarettes Cigarettes have killed more people than any war that we have had on this planet from the time we came out of the muck and became something. Cigarettes have been the #1 killer, period. You can look up all the fucking statistics and numbers that you want. Cigarettes have killed more people than war. And we have an opportunity. We have a product that fixes it. Like we have it. Like it's fucking right here. And it's right here. We actually have the technology to fix this. Like we can make the fucking world a better place. We get rid of fucking pollution with the cigarette butts that flood our fucking streets. We get rid of the smoke because we know for a fact secondhand smoke does cause cancer. It is proven. Like we have an opportunity to get rid of all that shit and make a difference and make the world better. But yet it's all about money, man. Like they're so focused on, they're so worried that we're going to lose so much money. So let's find a way to monetize it better. But don't you have, in my opinion, you have a fucking goal to help humanity overall. Like that's the most important goal. Like we have a chance to save lives and we're focused on money.
Sorry. I think it's clear that death. I know this is going to sound horrible, and I don't mean it how it sounds, but death sells at the end of the day. And the reason I say that is because you say smoking is the biggest killer, which is 100% truth. But what that leads on to is when the person contracts a disease or an illness from smoking, that then leads on to the pharmaceutical industry, who then make money, especially in the States where you don't have an NHS, and you do pay for your Medicare via insurances or self-wealth, whichever way it's paid for.
Some states have, like Massachusetts has MassCare or something. Is it called? I think there's something in Massachusetts. Is there?
They have stuff. They have government stuff that's supposed to help, but it's honestly focused on, like, you have to be like poor, so poor that you can't afford anything. Like it's and most people that are middle class can't afford fucking insurance. They can't afford to go pay for a doctor visit over here because it's absolutely ridiculous. Like it blows my mind how many people just deal with pain and fucking anguish and illness because they can't afford to go to the hospital or see a doctor. They just can't. They work, 60 hours a week and can't afford it.
It is sad. And I've always hoped that America would, because where we were saying earlier that all of this stuff that's happening in the States with vaping, it will eventually residual over to us in the UK. And I do believe on some level, that's right, we will get the backdraft from it. But I've always hoped that the US would work in reverse in terms of their healthcare, that they would look at our system and go, okay, well, they've tried to privatize the NHS, hasn't always gone to plan, but the NHS still looks after its people and it still brings in its money or whatever, one way or another. I'm not too sure about the schematics behind the scenes of the NHS. That would be more Vinny's category. But, the hope would be that the US would look at that and go, okay, why don't we do something like that? Now, I know they bought Obamacare when Obama was in power, but not a lot of people were exactly hot on that. And it's for the same reason. And that is money. Like I say, death sells. It sells from the moment that the person contracts a disease from, let's say, for the argument, smoking. All right, they contract the disease. They then have to pay for their medication. They have to pay for their scans. They have to pay for their appointments, the travel, the whole lot. Then the illness gets worse. So therefore, they're paying for ambulances now because, they've got sporadic situations where they suddenly feel really, really ill and they've got to go in no matter what. So they're paying for ambulances now. They're paying for medication again. They're paying for board, and it's a constant roll all the way through the process until that person dies. And then that still doesn't stop because you still have to pay for the casket, the material, the taxes on that, and then the funeral, the taxes on that, and then you've got to pay for the lawyer who's going to tell you what you don't get because the taxes are at that. And do you see what I mean? All of that is the
state tax. Death tax, whatever you want to call it, when people die as well, the government take a big chunk of that money. You know what I mean? And the people have already paid tax on that once. You know what I mean? When they earn it, they've already paid tax on that once. And then when it goes to a relative or whatever, they lose like half of it to the government. I mean, like that to me is just disgusting.
This is why there's such a big revolt against vaping, because so many people lose out if vaping actually does come in and gets accepted in all of the communities, in all of the states, nationwide. If it gets accepted, suddenly you're looking at the death rates being halved or more. You're looking at pharmaceutical, medications, all of that stuff getting halved. The consumption will be halved or more. And then again, like I say, it rolls down the hill, medications, then bedding, then boarding, then funeral services, etc. And it all gets halved because vaping has helped to extend that person's life. And that's why you're getting such a big revolt from it. But what you got to realize is that sounds like a big neg, but it's not a big neg, because think about how many people are paying those prices. How many people are having to
I'm going to jump off. I'm going to leave you in Rabbit's hands. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
All right, love you, Vinny.
Mate.
Bye, Vinny.
Bye.
Yeah, mate.
But Acapella, what I was going to say is it even goes farther than that. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but your medical bills and your after you die and you're buried and your funeral arrangement, all of that transfers to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So even when you die, you don't get rid of it. Like, it's not gone. Like, you literally stack up all, like, so say you start smoking at 16 years old. You smoke till you're 35, and then you get diagnosed, God forbid, with lung cancer. So now you have to go through, now you, and by that time, you're so hooked on cigarettes, like, you're probably smoking while going to chemo, or you're leaving chemo, and then you're going outside to smoke a cigarette to help with the nausea. So now you're going through a process to help fight the cancer that's literally destroying every aspect of your body, because they're pumping in poison to kill a cancer that's tearing your body apart. So all these medical bills start stacking up. You got chemotherapy, you've got the constant visits, and then guess what? You don't beat it. So now you pass. Well, you got 2 or 3 kids left behind. They're going to take on all of that fucking medical debt. They're going to take on all of the fucking funeral arrangements. And God forbid, what if now 2 of your kids pick up smoking because of the stress from it, because they've been around it their whole lives. So now they go from 1 smoker to 2. And then what happens when they smoke until they're 30 something and then they have a couple kids? So now fucking, yeah. So it's I mean, it's insanity, because it constantly keeps growing, and we're sitting over here with technology to help people finally get away from it, to finally save lives. And they're like, well, we don't give a fuck about your technology. We're going to come up with a really good plan to get rid of your industry. That way we can continue to capitalize on the deaths of our citizens, because that's more important to us than saving their lives.
But this is my point. You've got all of those people there that you can appeal to and provide them with the facts, the statistics. And I'm sure most of those people are naysayers at the moment because of what they've seen in the main media.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't use a controlled media source, so if you don't use a media source that has a big money bags benefactor behind it that controls what goes out, you potentially just got yourself an audience of millions who, let's face it, statistically, 30% of them will probably come on board, and the other 70% will probably say, I don't really get what you're saying, or I don't understand what you're telling us, etc., etc. But you just gained 30%, of I don't know what the population of the states is. Was it something like 20 million?
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
But either way, you've got 30% of that population extra on top of the community that you already have, who are then able to get the word out even more. And sooner or later, the government are going to go, they're going to look at their optics and go, guys, if we keep opposing this, we're going to be out of power very, very quickly.
327.2 million in 2018.
Yeah.
Fuck me, I was well off.
Yeah.
He's only off by a couple of mil.
It's
You killed 66, so...
But see, the thing is, in my opinion, I think that what we're doing now with the social medias and using all the different platforms and helping push the truth and getting more and more words out there, we're definitely helping spread facts around and get stuff out there. I think our biggest problem is that we can't, like our industry, I don't know, I don't want to say we can't afford it, but I don't think anyone stepped up to actually do it yet. And Big Tobacco can buy out, they can literally pay for these $1 million ads to where they've got these truth campaigns and these Parents Against Vaping and all these fake organizations that they made up that are going around, spreading these propagandas and basically destroying this industry off of lies, just straight lies.
Yeah, no, I for every positive strain there's 3 more negative strains, and I know that most people would say, me saying outlook is everything, and it must be easier to say that. Thank you very much, Vinny. Thank you for having me on as well. It might be easy to say that, but as a company, and I know this is bringing it to AMC a bit, but it's because of what we stand for as a company. We stand for our community and everything we can do inside of it. Our sign on the front of our website literally says we work for the betterment of our community, and that will never stop, no matter how small or big or wide we go or grow. It wouldn't matter whether we're selling 10 units or 10,000 units. Our morals will remain the same. And it's that little positive light. Like, even if we were the only positive light in the community, that would be enough to break up the darkness of the negative. Yeah. And I guess if you look at it that way, I did something the other week. I don't have a lot of money. Honestly, I'm not a rich guy or anything. I pretty much live hand to mouth. But me and my 2 friends went to Exeter, which is the city near us, for an event. And it was freezing. It was literally freezing to the point where you can see air coming out in breaths and everything. And we went to a supermarket to get a drink before going to this event because we didn't know what the prices would be like there. And there was this homeless person sat outside the little one-stop supermarket. And she had one blanket, but she was sat on it. And she was you could physically see her shivering. So I went in and I got some food and some water and whatever else and brought it out and then gave her the change. And one of my friends was like, "Why did you do that?" And my answer is because it could be me one day, or it could be someone we know one day. But that one little light, that one good gesture. I mean, I bought something. The food item I bought was enough that she could share it if she wanted to. So that person, if she had gone and met up with someone else, that could have been 2 bellies that ended up with food in, or 3 or 4. But one little light can change a whole network of darkness and negativeness. Yes. And I think that's what we need to, always put out to our community. It's just one little light.
I can attest to that with AMC. I know Acapella and other guys behind the scenes and everything, and they're 100% dedicated to the vaping community as a whole. Which I'd love to say that that's the same with all companies, but unfortunately I don't see it like that. You know what I mean? I'm not like singling any companies out, but if we did have more companies that took that kind of approach, didn't want any to get involved in any drama and this and that and the other, and was just focused on the betterment of the vaping industry, then maybe things would be going a bit better, because a lot of petty squabbles and stuff like that have stopped people coming together because of past grudges and stuff like this. Now, what I'd like to see is, somebody, I've said this before, and that's like some sort of lobbyists working for the vaping community that can go around and that can, do you know what I mean, that can actually put our point across, because I think that's really where we're missing out, is on that level, because pharmaceutical companies, big tobacco companies, they've all got lobbyists and stuff to work for them that go around and they contribute to political campaigns and stuff like that. So then they think that, that buys them goodwill. So they go to that politician, you know what I mean? That lobbyist will go to that politician and they'll lobby with them and this and that and the other and get them to speak out on the issue. What I don't like is things like I've seen, was it San Francisco, when they put in the vaping bill on a fracking, it was tied to a fracking one. So or something like that. So if you voted that you didn't want the fracking, which most people didn't, then you also voted on the flavor ban as well. I mean, that was absolutely insane. You know, that like you couldn't choose, like, you know, say, yeah, okay, I don't want the fracking, but the vaping I want to stay. Now the issue that you've got there is you've got a load of people that are non-vapers that are going out and they're looking at that and they're thinking, well, that bit there doesn't affect me, so I don't care, so I'm going to vote anyway. You know, and there's more non-vapers than there are vapers, and that's the way that I see it. Do you get what I mean? It's like
basically how T21 got in. Honestly, they snuck it in with another bill, and it voted right away.
Yeah, and that's the kind of underhanded tactics that, you know, it's like that needs to stop, really.
It's terrible when your government can actually literally do dirty, underhanded tactics like that publicly and openly and not getting shit for it.
Yeah, you know, we got dual lobbyists over here at the moment lobbying our government to raise the NIC cap.
Oh my god!
So that they can get 60 milligram or whatever it is. Yeah, they're over here lobbying because we've got the 20 milligram cap. You know, it's 18 for regular nicotine, 20 for salts, and they're trying to get the government to raise it, even though they know that all of the, do you know what I mean? A lot of the addiction with the kids and everything like that was all based around Juul and this high nicotine, and you know what I mean? The kids taking it to get a buzz off it and stuff like that, you know?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm not a huge conspiracy nut, but in my opinion, all of this started and has been getting worse because of that company.
Yeah.
Like they are. And honestly, I think if you did enough digging, you'll find out that company probably has owned the majority by Big Tobacco and has probably been pushing to try to do this the whole time. That like they had a really good detailed plan on how to get in our industry, finagle their way in, and then help destroy it from the inside out. And it's working. And honestly, just to touch on what Acapella was saying, like that's the positivity and the love is the only way we're going to fix it. We have to stay positive. We've got to keep pushing each other. We've got to keep growing. We've got to keep reaching out and getting new vapors. My biggest goal for January was to get out there and get new vapors, and it worked. Like I've converted quite a few people this month because I had to get back to the basics. I had to get back to what I love and what I like. And to me, I love getting someone off fucking cigarettes. Like that shit's so important to me. So I'm trying to focus more on that. And if we stay positive and we keep pushing the love and we keep helping people, and like Acapella said, shining that light, the light will grow. It's going to reflect. It's going to hit other people and it's going to reflect. And we're going to have more and more light. And eventually we can stomp out this fucking darkness, but we have to do it together. Like we have to be a unit. We can't be bickering over bullshit.
You know, it's got to be a united front and everybody coming from the same direction with the same purpose, you know, not like for self-interest or whatever, you know, like, you know, I can imagine there's people that have got into the vaping industry, shops or whatever, like, you know, like the high street type, not what I'd class as like your type of shop, Rabbit, but, you know, like the ones where you just go in there, chains that they've only got like Juul stuff, blue, or I mean, basic stuff like that. You know, I just think that companies like that, they've got in here just to make money and nothing else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so they're not worried, you know, like, because they've obviously already got money that they've put into it and everything like that, and they're just like, well, hey, we'll just sell. If it goes down to tobacco and menthol, we'll just sell that because people will buy that if there's nothing else, you know. And it's because they haven't got that love for vaping themselves, because they don't actually vape or even maybe smoke or whatever, you know, like they're just literally in it for the money. They don't give a shit, you know, about anything else. As long as they still keep making their money, they don't really care. And people like yourself, Rabbit, you know, and Acapella and people like that have got vaping companies, and you know, they were vapors first before they, do you know what I mean? Before they moved into the industry as an actual entity, you know, like your shop and AMC and stuff like that. And you've got those people, and they're very, very different to the type of people that own basically vape convenience stores, if that makes sense. I mean? That's the way that I see them.
Those people you're talking about are people who have come from literally unrelated like backgrounds, head of marketing, etc., etc. Whatever the titles attached to them, they've come from unrelated backgrounds, and they've come in not because they vape, but they've come in because they've been asked to raise that margin, to raise that end profit figure for that company. A thing that gets on my nerves a bit is, obviously in the UK, we're having a problem with like standalone stores not being able to survive where they are, and to be fair, it's not just vape stores, it's almost any independently owned store. They close down rather quickly, and the problem with this happening is because people will go into what we call cost cutters, or they're a little bit like your convenience stores over where you are, and they'll sell the blue and the jewel and all of that, but they won't, the people selling that stuff don't tell the customer anything. So the customer doesn't know that, you don't have to give up on the highest nicotine strength, or, buying a blue pod system could be the worst thing you could do, not only because you're supporting a tobacco controlled company, but because the device isn't suitable for you. Ultimately, whereas in a vape shop, you can get all that information, much like yourself, Rabbit, with helping other people. You ask them questions, they give you answers, you give advice, they either take it or they choose their own path. But essentially, the knowledge is passed on, and that person can make an informed decision. Whereas in convenience stores, you don't get that.
No, and I don't sell the same thing to every customer trying to quit. Like, there's a specific product for each individual, and I have to have a conversation with them, and I have to work through what their feelings are and what their goal is and how much they're smoking. And, there's a different product for every customer. And to me, those relationships are important, because if you actually listen to that customer and you work with them and you get the perfect product for them, they're going to stop smoking and they're going to stay off of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Even if they don't come back to me to buy juice or coils or none of that stuff, that's fine, because I'm happy with the fact that I got them to stop with the cigarettes. That's the most important thing, and we can't lose sight of that. Like, that is the goal of this industry. We all got in the hobbyist side, and we all fell in love with it, and that's fine. And for some people, that's important. But the most important thing, the basis of this industry, was getting people off of combustible tobacco. That is the goal. So we can never lose sight of that. We have to stay focused on that, because that is so super important.
I mean, I agree with you totally there that each product, or each person will need a slightly different product, because you get smokers that, you either get somebody who'll smoke like, 60 Newports a day, and then you'll get somebody who maybe only smokes 10 Marlboro Lights a day or something, And obviously, they're not going to need, the person who's smoking only that amount, they're not going to need anywhere near the strength of nicotine that somebody that's smoking, like Newports or do you know what I mean? Whatever brand that's got a high nicotine and high, it's got a high content. So, saying to both of them, right, you need to start off on 20 milligram nic salts, that doesn't work. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got each person will have their individual thing. Also, not a lot of people want to carry around a great big thing like this.
Nope.
Not a lot of people want to walk around with something massive. They might want something smaller, and stuff like that. So everybody, everyone's an individual, and everybody's got different preferences and stuff like that. And then there's obviously the aesthetics of stuff, of what people like the look of more than anything. So
it's all personal. Preference to be on. I was thinking, since we had Acapella on tonight, that maybe he wouldn't mind doing the final words, so we can wrap it up, because we just passed 2 hours. It's gonna kill me if I don't get home eventually. But I just want to say that I love all you guys. I love all our leaguers that are watching and those that are going to watch it later. And I appreciate, all the support that we get from you guys. If any of y'all want to say anything before Acapella takes the final words.
No, leaguers. Basically covered everything. Just everybody, just stay positive and everything. Keep tuning in every week. And that's it really.
I won't be on for a few weeks now, because I'm back to training next Sunday. So.
dun, dun, dun.
You got to post updates on the league.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh no, we've already spoke about this. Me and Josh, we've already spoke about this, and we've got some really funny, good ideas for this. This is going to be great. This is going to be absolutely hilarious. Like, do you know what I mean?
There'll be
like,
updates. I will put a link to the when I get the link. I will put a link to the giving page if anybody does want to donate. And they do film it, so I can put the video on the page if anybody wants to see me getting hit in the face.
Yeah, nice. I'm hopefully going to go down. If I could, ooh, that sounded wrong. I'm hopefully going to go and watch it. I'm hopefully going to go to the event and watch it. You know, hopefully I'm trying to sort it out and everything so that I can go. And if that happens, it will be streamed on Facebook. So don't worry about that. Like if I'm there, that shit will be everywhere. So you know, it's I'm really looking forward to it. Not because I just want to see Josh get punched in the face, but I do like boxing as well.
All right.
Have they actually found someone short enough for Josh to fight?
Have
they actually found someone short enough for Josh to fight? Josh
ain't short. Josh is like almost 6 foot, like which isn't really short.
Yeah, exactly 6 foot though, is it?
I'm 5'11". So like
just under 6 foot.
Oh my god! All right, Acapella, hit it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you to Vinny and the rest of the panel for having me on. It's been an honor. And my last words, I suppose, will be touching on our subject, the last one, which is, you know, stay positive, stay community orientated, and never forget that you could be that one little light that, you know, could inspire someone else. So, yeah, I'm not too sure how long these are going to be, but either way, it's been an honor being on, guys. And all I can say is just do good in our community. Lead by example.
Absolutely. Love you guys. Thank you. We'll see y'all next week and hope everybody has a great night.
Peace.
Bye.